Alright, so welcome to the video everybody. A very exciting one today. We're going to talk about, is Amazon FBA actually passive or not? There's a lot of people who talk about this in almost like a stigma around the word passive and the stigma around passive income. So a lot of people are saying, oh no, it's not passive, you have to put loads of work in, it's so many hours. Other people are saying that I don't work my Amazon FBA business hardly ever, it's a couple hours a week. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my experiences and the people I know still on Amazon and their experiences of how much time they put into their Amazon FBA businesses to understand, is Amazon FBA actually passive, or are people being sold the dream of just passive lifestyle, travel the world, loads of money and all this kind of thing. So very interesting video, and one I'm sure you're all going to enjoy a hell of a lot. But before we get into it, I'd really appreciate it if everyone went down below, click the subscribe button and the bell notification just next to it, you get a notification when I put out a new video, and gave the video a thumbs up at the end if you enjoy it. So with all of that said, let's get into this video. So I think a great way to kick this video off would be to kind of define passive income and what that means to me. Not the actual definition of it. How do I view passive income? Passive income to me is a point where there's no correlation between the hours you put in and the money you get out. So you think a regular 9-to-5 job, you work 8 hours, you get £10 an hour, you have £80 that day, okay? You have worked every minute of every hour exactly for the amount of money. You knew that if you worked 10 hours, you would get £80, okay? A direct correlation between hours and money. When I talk about passive income, I think about maybe putting in 1 hour and getting 2 hours wages. And just there being no correlation between the hours you put in and the money you get out. It doesn't mean you do absolutely nothing and get money. It just means that you're getting paid while you're not directly working, or you've put in a couple hours over here, but 3 days later you're still getting paid more than the time you put in. So that's kind of what passive income means for me. So when we're thinking about Amazon FBA, do you have to put work in, and do you have to put continuous work into Amazon? Yes, 100% you do. But how much work do you actually put in to equal the money you're getting? Well, it depends how much you're earning, but in my personal situation, I can say that for my Amazon business, the amount of time that I put into it every single day is very small. So take today for example, it's 12:30 p.m, so just gone midday. Recording a video at the minute, as you can see. But this morning I woke up and I opened my Seller Central, went on my campaign manager and looked at my campaigns just to see how they're going. Just to start off the day, I just do it every morning to look at my campaigns. I don't always change stuff or do anything to them, but it's just something I do. I like to look at my campaigns. I like to just see how it's going. So I may have looked at them for 10-15 minutes. I refresh my sales to see how it's going. Obviously in the morning, so not that much to see, but did that, and then that's it for the day. I haven't really looked at it anymore today. I probably won't look at it anymore today. I might refresh my sales later today and see how I'm doing, which I know it's a bad habit, but I still get the joy every time I refresh those sales and see hopefully the money going up. So I still do that, but apart from that, there's not really that much more I can do. So if my Amazon business was to make me 100, 200, 300 pounds today, and that's all I did, would you consider that passive income? But then when we think about tomorrow, I might go onto my Amazon Seller Central account and I might spend an hour, 2 hours redoing all my campaigns, resetting all the keyword targeting, doing all this stuff again. And that day I might make £50. So obviously that isn't very realistic in terms of the money that you'd make from your Seller Central account, or my Seller Central account at least. But you can see what I'm saying, that yes, you have to put work in, and the upfront work is maybe 34 hours talking to suppliers, getting your listing ready and all this stuff. But in general, in my opinion, Amazon FBA is passive. Even if you have to put in a little bit of work every single day or a couple hours a week, you're earning more money than you're putting in times of hours. So if that makes sense to you at all. So in my opinion, it is passive. So I don't understand when people are saying that it isn't very passive. I don't understand where that's coming from or what they're doing wrong in their Amazon business. Obviously, don't get me wrong, if you're selling hundreds of thousands or probably more like millions of pounds on Amazon FBA every year, then it might become less passive where you're in your business all the time. If you're doing FBM, if you've got a warehouse and things like this, then you're going to be putting in a hell of a lot more time. It might become more equal to the hours you're paying. Obviously, I would still consider it passive, or you're just on a really high hourly wage, but to me, Amazon FBA is completely passive in just terms of how much effort you're putting in to get the money you're getting out. So this doesn't mean that it's the dream and you want to sell the dream and you're just not going to work at all. It does take work. You do have to put the effort in. You have to know what you're doing. You can't just put a product up and it just does well. Like I said this morning, I'm always looking at my PPC campaigns, refining them, trying to like still do as best as I can for the products that I have. But that doesn't mean that Amazon FBA isn't passive. Just because I put some work into it, that doesn't mean that it's a full-time job kind of thing. Just like if you was to buy and rent out a house, when you're renting out a house, you might see that as passive income. Many people do. But that doesn't mean you don't go through the process of purchasing the house and going up and checking it every now and then, and doing all these types of keeping up maintenance on the house, doing these types of things to just upkeep that type of income. That doesn't mean that a rental income isn't passive. It just means you have to do work for it as well, but just you don't have to do that much. And it's exactly the same with Amazon FBA. So when I think about Amazon FBA, I think it is completely passive if you set up correctly, if you do it right, and if you know what you're doing basically, then yeah, it can be very passive. If you do it wrong and you get things wrong and you're not on the first page, you're losing money, you might put a lot of time into your Amazon FBA business trying to salvage it, trying to save things, trying to get your products to that first page. But if that's the case, it's only because you've done it wrong the first time round. If you do it right and you follow the process, then Amazon FBA is a very, very passive business model that definitely can do very well for you. So I hope many of you have enjoyed this video, and when you see people say that Amazon FBA isn't passive, you can question them on it and ask them, why isn't it passive? Because like I said earlier, I spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour on an average day on my Amazon business, if that, probably nowhere near that actually, maybe 15-20 minutes a day. So yeah, it's 100% passive in my opinion. I'm sure many people might get mad at me saying that, saying just trying to sell the dream and things like that, but I can't be any more honest than that of how I actually spend my time on Amazon business. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys, and if you have, I'd really appreciate a subscribe and a bell notification on the video below. And of course, if you have liked it, also give the video a big thumbs up and leave a comment below on your kind of opinions on is Amazon FBA passive, because like I said, I've seen so many people arguing about this. I'd really love to know how you view it. So with all that said, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Can you see myself?